Detective Pikachu is a movie adaptation of the 3DS title that shares the same name, which had many people scratching their heads at first, but when seeing the first trailer for the movie, people actually seemed on board with this movie, including myself, which is rare because it's a video game adaptation, and one of which is a spin off of Pokemon. But is it good? What's up, guys? It's DPX here. Welcome to my review for Detective Pikachu. But before we get started, of course, you know what to do. Be sure to like this video, subscribe if you're new, turn on the notifications bell, and leave a comment. You'll be a loyal subscriber. Keep in mind that I'm going to be going into some spoilers a little bit. So, yeah. Anyways, let's start with saying that Ryan Reynolds as Detective Pikachu is really good. I didn't quite expect that to be so good. I think that was actually the best part of the movie. Whenever Pikachu was there, which was most of the movie, but he's Ryan Reynolds sort of actually in a way plays himself as Pikachu. Like it seems more like Pikachu is Ryan Reynolds, and it's really like I totally buy it. Like at first, when I first heard about this, like even before the trailer dropped, there was some news that Ryan Reynolds was going to be voicing a Detective Pikachu movie, Detective Pikachu in a Detective Pikachu movie, rather. And I was like, what the hell? Like, no, no. But hearing in the trailer, that's actually pretty good. And now watching the movie, getting like an hour and 44 minutes with him, I dig it. So what the story is, Tim, played by Justice Smith, uh, is trying to find his father. He thinks his father might be dead, but he runs into Pikachu, who is uh, his father's old partner. And then, like, Justice Smith's character, Tim, sort of like is a bit reluctant to help find his father, which is a bit strange because he just doesn't really care about it. But then he sees this girl Lucy, who he thinks is pretty attractive, who somewhat convinces him to go. I feel he should have probably wanted to find his father himself, but I still think it's pretty good. I think everyone did do a pretty good job in their performances. Now, I do like all the Pokemon references as well. Like, there is a problem with them, though, and it's if you don't, if you're not a Pokemon fan. Of course, like, I'm not really that much of a Pokemon fan. I do know a lot of the Pokemon. I got to know more about Pokemon with Smash Brothers, but if like parents go to see their Pokemon with their kids, and the parents don't really know anything about Pokemon, they throw Pokemon cameos, and they do expect you to know them, who they are. Keep that in mind. Also, keep in mind that this is a Detective Pikachu movie. It does somewhat seem like a Pokemon movie, and you don't really need to you know have to have played the actual Detective Pikachu game, but this is based off of that movie. So yeah, keep that in mind. Um, I'm gonna I'm gonna get on a gripe I have with this movie is that there are a ridiculous, insane amount of plot twists. Ridiculous. Like earlier when I said that it turned out, yeah, I'm gonna get into spoilers a bit. Um, so click to the time you see right here. But the plot twists, some of them include of the one I said earlier, kind of. I didn't really mention that it was a plot twist, but the one I said earlier, where it turns out that Pikachu is Tim's father's partner, that was kind of actually a plot twist, because, you know, it was sort of done like that. There are so many other plot twists, too, like Mewtwo was bad, now he's good, now he's bad again, and now he's good again, and the one plot twist that I thought was pretty good was the Ditto plot twist, and, I thought that was good. It was just nice to see Ditto, really. And I also did kind of like Mewtwo in this. I don't know, I just like him as a godlike creature, and I did sort of like it when he saved Pikachu. That was a good plot twist. I didn't like it when he turned bad again and turned good. I know he turned bad because someone like had control over him, but still, it's still a twist. And the twist at the end, I mean, it's good that Tim found his father, but like it really didn't make much sense to me. I know I've already mentioned this, or at least I think I mentioned this, but I do love all the Pokemon cameos and references, whether if it's stuff like Jigglypuff or Magikarp. Magikarp played a somewhat of a decent role in a scene, but Charmander, Bulbasaur, and my boy Snorlax, all he was doing was just sleeping in the middle of a road. But yeah, it was pretty cool. It's pretty enjoyable, and I said you don't even need to play the Detective Pikachu game in order to enjoy this. You don't even really need to be a Pokemon fan in order to enjoy this. And you're probably going to get the most out of it if you're a Pokemon fan. If you're not, you're going to enjoy it. I mean, everyone like Justice Smith or Ryan Reynolds, they all do really good. You're going to enjoy it still. Another thing on the topic of enjoyability, while we're at that, is one scene that sort of dragged on for me. I didn't really hear anyone else say this, but that one scene when they're in the lab, like this, the sort of part where they're in like the lab where they see the Greninjas. That sort of dragged on for me a bit. Um, it didn't feel like I did sort of get bored during that scene. Not when they were running, and Pikachu almost died, or actually did die for a little bit. He got revived afterwards. But definitely not the scene after they left the lab. But definitely when they were in the lab, I found that to just drag on, and it just wasn't. I just didn't really like it. It was just not interesting. And it probably was very important. It just dragged on for me. I'm sorry. Overall, though, I'd say they did a really good job with this movie. It's not like super ambitious or anything. The stakes aren't high. It's not like when you go see Avengers Endgame, which like you're like you need to like never go to the bathroom. You have to like watch the whole thing, and like you never know what to expect. This was just a fun little movie. I mean, yeah, it's not really fair to compare a Pokemon movie to a, a 20-second film in a huge franchise. But what I'm saying is that this is just a fun little movie that I'd say really anyone can go see. So yeah, it does have some problems, like the ridiculous amount of plot twists or that one lab scene that just dragged on for me. But maybe I'll have to see it again and maybe I'll think differently. So, in conclusion, Detective Pikachu is a surprisingly good movie. Now, I went into it with expectations somewhat high expectations. Definitely not low. Definitely not average expectations. But surprisingly good, as I'm surprised I actually went into it with high expectations. I remember a while back, I actually saw Assassin's Creed. Yeah, I even forgot I saw that movie. But I remember seeing Assassin's Creed when it came out, the movie, and I did not have high expectations. This, however, I did, and I'd actually say it delivered. It's an enjoyable movie with some flaws. I feel like the many twists really do hurt the movie. That lab scene, really not that much. Like, you can actually ignore that, and you have a really good movie. But with the multiple plot twists, it gets annoying at one point, which does sort of affect the movie, and it does take away a few points for me. But, in conclusion, some of you might actually say that this is a little too nice, but I give it a solid 8 out of 10. I found it to be very enjoyable. The plot twists, though, again, really hurt it, but this is my opinion. The plot twists do bump it down about like a point and a half, and then the lab scene is like another half. So yeah, that'll be it for this video. What do you think? Do you agree with me? Do you not agree with me? Have you seen Detective Pikachu? Or Pokemon Detective Pikachu? However you're supposed to say this name. Let me know in the comments below if you liked the movie or not, or if you liked the review or not. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.